The Carnival 2024 weekend starts for me in 1 hour from the time when this video is posted, and in case you're on the fence about buying the ticket, or you just want more information about the event, then this is the video for you, because I'm going to give you as much information as I can, as quickly as I can, because there's still time to prepare. If you're in my time zone, a lot of you guys have already been playing for like 7 hours by the time I wake up. Also, this will be probably the least edited video I have ever put on this channel, so go ahead and listen to this in the background, like while you're driving to the place that you're going to go play, or while you're getting ready in the morning, about to go out and play. Just listen to this in the background because there's not going to be many visuals, if any at all, because I just do not have any time to edit this, and it's already after midnight on the night before I'm going to play the event, and I'm literally in bed right now, and I'm going to go to sleep right after I'm done filming and editing this. But I still wanted to help, and I like listening to YouTube videos, especially on the way to go hunt, so I thought this could be helpful. Also, I'm a little sick, so sorry about that. Anyway, let's get into it. First of all, the 3 new monsters debuting in this event, but technically debuted in the in-person Shibuya event, are Nergigante, Gold Rathian, and Silver Rathalos. All 3 of these monsters are definitely a challenge, and I will go over what to look out for in battle in a little bit. For now, I wanted to let you know that Nergigante is appearing in all EDIs if you purchased a ticket. So that means no matter what, Nergigante will be the only Elder Dragon in any EDIs during this period. I contacted Niantic about this myself, and they told me exactly that. You have to do a quest to unlock the ability to fight Nergigante, but even if you don't claim that quest or something, other Elder Dragons will not spawn. So if you're planning to grind Kushala or Teostra in this event, then I'm sorry, you're out of luck there. But yes, during this period, you don't have to wait. There's no cooldown for EDIs or hunt-a-thons, so you can grind them to your heart's content and your wallet's content as long as you are able. Speaking of which, there's only one hunt-a-thon lineup that I've seen for this event, and that is Magnamalo, Pink Rathian, Azure Rathalos, Gold Rathian, and Silver Rathalos in that order. And there are 3 different star level lineups for the event. So the lineup will be the same, but the difficulty will vary from hat to hat. You have to be HR 11 or higher to participate in the event, but if you are HR 11 or higher, there's new armor that scales to the level of any monster that you're fighting. It's called boosted armor. This is an insane advantage for anyone who has not played for since launch, or at least the last 6 months, so your armor and weapons are up to snuff to fight these monsters. If you have been playing that long, then this armor won't change that much for you, but it's still fun to craft, and I like the look of it, so I'm definitely still gonna forge it for layered armor. Just be aware that the only time to grind for this armor will be during this event, because the drops required to upgrade it will only be dropping during this event. So if you plan to use it, go hard and upgrade it a ton. You'll need 553 Carnival 2024 upgrade tickets, 43 Wyvern Gem Shards, 16 armor refining parts, and 1 Carnival 2024 forging ticket per piece of equipment to get this to grade 10.5, so the max. But luckily, you only need 10 Carnival upgrade tickets and 1 Carnival forging ticket per piece of equipment to get it to grade 6. So if your only goal is layering, it's pretty cheap, and I hear it's pretty cheap to get to grade 8 as well. And all of the weapons in this set are blast element, so that's pretty sick. Speaking of upgrading, you're definitely gonna need some item box storage for this event. Make sure you go through your item box and clear out as many unnecessary items as you can. My recommendations are: keep toadstools, sharp claws, wing drake hides, small monster bones, iron ore, fire herbs, and throw away all other rarity 1 materials. They're rarity 1, so you can always grind them back up for other equipment in the future. Gold and Silver Rathalos have their own rarity 1 materials, so obviously keep those once you get them. Then, sorting by rarity, keep medium monster bones, pink Rathian webbing, Machilite ore, and Azure Rathalos tails. Throw away all other Rarity 2 materials. The reason I chose those specifically is because those are the only Rarity 1s and 2s that you're going to need for this entire event. That includes all the event armor and weapons. The only exceptions I made on this are Black Diablos, tail cases, and fangs. So if you're working on a specific piece of equipment, maybe like save those rarities. But even doing this, just Rarity 1s and 2s cleared out my item box by over half. Now, I wouldn't recommend going much more rare than that in terms of throwing things away because, well, the materials are rare. But if you're lacking space more than I am at this point, I would recommend checking MHN.quest and looking for the specific armor or weapons that you're trying to forge and see like how many spaces you're going to need for those, or like what rarities you don't need and what you can throw away. Because if you plan to grade 10.5 or max out Silver Rathalos or Gold Rathian, you will need 1,841 item box slots per piece of equipment, and you'll need a total of 9,205 item spaces to upgrade a full set to 10.5. That's only one set out of the 4 new sets that you may want to craft. That's not even counting the weapons that you may want to make. But you will most likely be upgrading as you go, so having about 5,000 slots open in your item box should give you the flexibility to grind super hard and not have to like think about dumping stuff out of your item box while upgrading your weapons and equipment as you go. Unless you're Zenny poor, then like throw away everything in your box, I don't know, and just grind for parts, and then that way they're in there and you can just grind for months for Zenny and then upgrade all your stuff. Realistically, most players won't bother going above grade 8 because then all the skills and the drift smelt slots will be open for whatever piece of equipment that you're forging, but it's good to assume the most so that way you can be prepared and like, oh no, you have more item box space. As for the skills for the new equipment, a full set of Gold Rathian will get you Divine Blessing 3, Part Breaker 2, Resentment 1, Lock On, Resuscitate 1, Poison Attack 1, and Poison Exploit 3. Poison Exploit is a brand new skill that comes with the Gold Rathian, and it increases the damage against monsters that are poisoned, and at level 3, with this set, you'll be doing 60% extra damage while any monster is poisoned. Gold Rathian actually has limited weapons with the poison element. They're Sword and Shield, Longsword, Charge Blade, and Gun Lance. But they all have 273 poison attack and 20% affinity at grade 6 with a new forge. But if you're wearing Gold Rathian armor and you upgrade your Gold Rathian weapon to grade 8, then you have 5 points of Poison Exploit, bringing the skill to 100% extra damage to any poison monster. Sick. And the bow for Gold Rathian is Dragon Element, just so you know. And of course, there's no poison dual blades. But there are new fire dual blades, the Silver Rathalos dual blades, and they have a new skill, Critical Element. And if you upgrade them to grade 8, then they will have 2 points of the crit element, so that'll be 40% extra elemental damage for any critical hits that you do. It will also have 779 attack with 552 fire element and 25% affinity, allowing you to take full advantage of the new skill. Why am I highlighting the dual blades only? Because I'm selfish. JK, there's a new Silver Rathalos fire element weapon for every weapon type, except heavy bowgun for some reason. I guess because Tio's heavy bowgun is so good. I just forged that today and like, holy crap, it's so fun. It's just like machine gun. As for the armor, if you make the full Silver Rathalos armor, then you'll get crit element 3, 5 if you have the Silver Rathalos weapon equipped, making it 80% extra elemental damage on critical hits, latent power 2, windproof 2, fire attack 1, critical boost 1, and weakness exploit 1. Pretty sick. Moving on to Nergigante. If you build a full set of Nergigante armor, then you'll have Crit Eye 1, Artful Dodger 1, Sneak Attack 1, Evade Extender 1, Offensive Guard 1, Guard 1, Attack 1, Part Breaker 1, Reload Speed 1, Recoil Down 1, and Nergigante Avidity level 5. This armor has a ton of different skills, but they're all super low level at like level 1. So they're like the Timu of skills. They're like, go get your skills over here. Super cheap. Definitely will last a long time. But what is Nergigante Avidity, you ask? Well, it's a skill that boosts your overall damage, both raw and elemental, by 20% at level 3. But the Elder Dragon curse trade-off for this super benefit is that you entirely lose the ability to use your special move in any battle when you have this equipped. So it's a hefty trade-off. But it can be pretty powerful if you get really creative with your builds. Since Avidity actually maxes out at level 3, there's no reason to even try to get to level 5, so you can be pretty dang flexible if you decide to build around this. And Nergigante's weapons are Dragon Element and have Part Breaker and Hunter's Unity. I'm personally super excited to make the dual blades because they look like literal claws. So like just for that reason, I want to use them. I just want to have giant claws and tear up some monsters. Now on to the fights. These will be some quick general tips, and I'm trying to be really succinct and give you like the best tips I can with like no B-roll or anything, because again, I got to get this out fast and go to bed. So just listen and keep these in mind. Starting with Nergigante. He starts out like most monsters with some roaring, so take that time to get some shots in. Most of his attacks are super big and telegraphed, so as long as you dodge to the side or block, you should be just fine for most attacks. Watch out for his projectile spines. A lot of his attacks will do initial damage, but also shoot spines in the direction of the attack, so be ready to block or dodge again after an attack. If he digs his wings into the ground, he's going to crack the earth under him and do a pocket sand AoE attack to either side of him. So move towards his face and get some free damage on his horns, or move to the back and work on weakening those spines. He's an Elder Dragon, which means when you reach the midpoint of the battle, he will roar and stun everyone, then fly up and charge one player with a super aggressive dive attack. This attack also has a spine explosion area of effect attack wherever he lands, so watch out. He's weakest on his forearms and his white spikes or thorns, and if you can break the newly regenerated spikes, he'll topple for free damage. His elemental weaknesses are Thunder and Blast. Moving on to Gold Rathian. The main thing you'll notice is that it's much faster than a normal Rathian or Pink Rathian in all of her movements. It has very high mobility, and its tail poison is more powerful than that of a normal Rathian or Pink Rathian. After a certain amount of time, it'll envelop itself in hellfire, unleashing blue flames and intensifying its attacks. The flames from its fire breath will stay on the ground for a long time, and they will instantly explode if hit by a fireball. So stay away from its ground fire. When it does cover itself in hellfire, its head will soften and it'll become a weak point. Find an opening, like after the tail attack, and aim for the head. Specifically when it is putting its hellfire on, so when it's like rearing up to put its hellfire on, that's not an attack. So take that time to like get behind it and cut the tail, or just hit the stomach because the head's coming down and now it's soft. But right after the hellfire, she does her triple fireball, speedy fireball attack, so just be aware of that. Its only weakness is thunder. And lastly, Silver Rathalos. Its head is sturdier than that of normal species, making it difficult to inflict damage there. It likes to fly a lot, so I would treat this like fighting Azure Rathalos, get behind him, and chop that tail. If you're ranged, then go for the wings to stop him from flying. After a certain amount of time, it envelops itself in hellfire as well, unleashing blue flames and intensifying its attacks. Just like Gold Rathian, it can explode any flames that are on the ground, so watch out for those. When covered in hellfire, its head softens and becomes a weak point, just like Gold Rathian, and breaking its head can return it to its non-hellfire state. It has Rathalos' normal, like, wind up and bite attack, but it immediately does a second bite right after, so be wary of his tricks. When he does his jump back fireball, he immediately follows up with a talon attack, so being in front of him is just generally really dangerous. His weak points are his tail and his wings, and his head only when it's enveloped in hellfire. And its only weakness is the water element. And finally, if you're out grinding and trying to complete this event, you're going to need to be around a lot of gathering nodes. Not only for EDIs, but the entire questline for Nergigante is all about gathering traces of Nergigante from gathering points. Not only that, but we still can't gather at the same time as there's a hunt-a-thon or EDI taking that place. So if you're going to try and complete these quests, you're going to have to like jump around and get whatever nodes don't have an EDI or hat at that time. Luckily, our range is extended by 1.5, so it's just like if we had a Wander Droplet. Just note that if you try to use a Wander Droplet with this extended range, it won't work. Dang. But hopefully that extended range will allow us to reach more gathering points. I'm going to the city tomorrow so that I have like 1 million gathering points around me. But there are 11 pages of quest line where you just have to gather traces for Nergigante. But there are also 6 pages for slaying different monsters like Nergigante, Silverathlos, Goldrathian, etc. Special thanks to Cacti, Arsanto, J Mitch, and Daybreak for helping me with this video. So make sure your phone batteries are charged, your item boxes are cleared, your portable chargers are handy, and your water is packed in your bag, because the grind starts now. See you out there, hunters. I'm going to bed now. Night. Oh no, the overhead light's still on. Hey, wife. Bathroom light. What? Second bathroom light. Okay, now I can sleep.